طيب. I don't think they have any. طيب خلاص خيرا.
There's a question from Initial IT from London, UK. Assalamu alaikum. In the Mufti Q&A video titled Struggling with the Quran in Arabic, we were talking about the person who leaves the battlefield and this being a sin. You mentioned that who is studying, this is their struggle to keep on going and to not give up. If someone is learning Quran in Arabic and they abandon it completely, is there a similarity in terms of sin or consequence?
طيب. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah. Question says, it's mentioned in one of the Mufti Q&A videos, the sin of fleeing from the battlefield. And that this is also applicable to one who flees from the battlefield of ilm, of learning and studying. So is there a similar sin if one is learning and studying Arabic and then they quit and they give up, etc.? Jazakallahu khairan. If you heard us saying this and stating this in those exact words or that actual meaning, then alhamdulillah, we'll address it right now. And if not, please make sure that you go back to the video and that you understand it properly and actually bring what we actually said. As far as if we did say that, do I believe that's correct or have some type of validity, then look at it like this. The people of knowledge, they say, is that seeking knowledge for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal, learning the deen, spreading the deen, they say is jihad fi sabilillah. It is connected and intertwined to struggling and fighting in the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not in every single aspect or angle, every dimension, but the general concept. Struggling hard in Allah's cause. Sacrificing in Allah's cause or for Allah's cause. And the different proofs and evidences to support that in the Quran and in the Sunnah. So with that being said, there are certain similarities. And one may say from those similarities as avoiding cowardice and avoiding turning your back and fleeing, running in flight, turning in flight. In which the believer, as Allah Azza wa Jalla says, when you meet those who disbelieve, Allah says, فَثْبُتُوا, be firm. And Allah Azza wa Jalla, He also mentions the virtue of patience with regards to an underdog defeating a favorite, with regards to a small group defeating a larger group. Wallahu ma sabirin. So it says a patient group of fighters. So the believer is supposed to be patient when he goes into battle. And he says seek Allah's refuge from cowardice and from haste and from lack of finishing and embracing and submitting to his fate to be on the battlefield. There lies no doubt that's applicable to seeking knowledge. Do you think seeking knowledge is a vacation? As many brothers do think that, and sisters, brothers and sisters, maybe more brothers and sisters. I want to marry him, he's a student of knowledge. Oh, he's went overseas, he's going to teach me. And they think that it's a slice of carrot cake. It's not no carrot cake. It's a life of struggle, of hardship, of sacrifice. Getting into the school is a struggle. Being in the school is a struggle. Graduating from the school is a struggle. Living, coming back to America, Canada, UK, raising your family, studying, teaching, working, paying bills, playing daddy and Abby and father. It's all a struggle. It's not a slice of carrot cake. And that's why we always quote the statement of Abdullah ibn Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma, قُلْ لِطَالِبِ الْعِلْمِ يَأْخُذُ نَعْلَيْنِ مِنْ حَدِيدٍ. He says, tell the student of knowledge to buy himself a pair of iron sandals. You're going to need sabr. You're going to need firmness and strength, like jihad, physical jihad, fi sabilillah. Patience. with the idea and the reality that I may not leave this battlefield today. I may not go back home. My wife, my children, family life may end right here. It takes sabr. Everyone understand this? So seeking knowledge takes patience. So if there are people depending upon you to bring them knowledge and teach them knowledge, and you live in an infested area in which people are wandering in darkness and blindness, and they need you for ilm and for light, and you quit and you throw it away, and you have the talent, you have the ability, Allah gave you a gift to seek ilm, then I would say there's a great similarity between you turning your back on the battlefield. No question about that. As far as if you never started, that's a different story. As far as if you're really not that good, people really aren't depending upon you that much, that's a different story. But people are depending on you, and you can make a change. You can have a major impact. But you just say, it's too much, it's too rough. My wife, she keeps complaining, man. Get into an argument. Her father called me. What's wrong with my daughter? Why is my daughter crying? Do you need some money? I want to send you some money. Send back my daughter and my grandkids right now. It's reality. Being overseas, not having no food, no money, no diapers, no Pampers for your little baby. It's reality. So if you don't have the sabr for it, then you shouldn't get involved in it on that level. And once you're involved in it or with it on that level, and people are depending on you and relying on you, you have to be a warrior. No question about that. And you have to wear iron sandals. And if you turn your back on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after all He has given you, He allowed you to learn His book, the Quran, by heart. He allowed you to be in the Prophet's city. He allowed you to live among Muslims for years out of your life, to be away from the other fitnas and this and that, and avoid being a statistic like your peers. And you just say, I'll quit, I give up, I don't want no more. You figure out what's the reward for that. So it's a very serious thing, huh? But don't ever forget, the more you struggle, the more you sacrifice, the more you suffer, the sweeter the taste of victory is. The sweeter what? The taste of victory is. So that's my advice and that's my opinion on that issue, whether I said that or whether I didn't say that. And we've always given this advice, and we continue to give this advice, is that if you want to seek knowledge, take it serious. Don't play around. And Allah knows best. That's in brief.
Next question says, it's from AA from Santa Rosa, California. What do you do if a person makes a mistake during the prostration of forgetfulness?
It depends on the mistake. It depends on the mistake. Next question.
Initials OA from Riyadh, King of Saudi Arabia. Assalamu alaikum Mufti. Is everything in religious matters that the Prophet never did a bid'ah? Did all of the companions agree on things like Uthman's adhan or Ibn Umar's qabada?
No, everything that the Prophet ﷺ did not do is not a bid'ah. La. Everything that the Prophet avoided and that you do doesn't mean that it's a bid'ah. And that's because all of the Prophet's actions are not religious actions. Everything that he did was not a practice and a manifestation of the religion. That's incorrect. The Prophet ﷺ was also a human being. He was a man. And there were certain things that he did out of his own personal preference. Certain things that he didn't do out of his own personal preference. And it's clearly stated. Some narrations, for example, they say, حُبِّبَ إِلَيَّ مِن دُنْيَاكُمْ أَطِيبُ وَالنِّسَاءُ. The few things that I'm fond of your worldly life is perfume and women. One narration may say that this animal, this food, this dish isn't from my culture. I'm not accustomed to eating this. One narration may say that Aisha radiallahu anha, she said that my kana habibi yakrahu riha. The smell of henna, that my loved one, the Prophet Muhammad, he didn't like the smell of henna. He did not like the smell of henna, as it states. And there are other narrations, many of them like this. That's not the deen. For someone to like the smell of henna doesn't mean it's haram or it's a bid'ah. Because that's not necessarily a religious practice. Eating dab, lizard, is not necessarily a what? Religious practice. A person who likes to smell good without the proper intention isn't necessarily doing it out of religion. So everything the Prophet did or didn't do is not based off of what? Deen. Point number one. Secondly, the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ is much more than just his statement. He may allow someone to do it, but he never did it himself. So there are different levels and there are different details. My advice is for the youth to understand a few things. And older brothers and sisters as well, but I'm talking to the youth. Is that when it comes to bid'ah in the deen, then bid'ah is nothing different than anything else from the deen. There are rules, there are rulings, there are principles, there are things that are agreed upon, there are things that are, which is difference of opinion. What Allah and His Messenger have made obligatory is obligatory. What Allah and His Messenger have made haram is haram. Everyone understand this? There's a ruling of bid'ah, just like there's a ruling of making salat. You can't pray when you want to any qibla without wudu. Nor can you say that everything is a bid'ah, nor can you do anything and say it's okay, there's no bid'ah. It's hukum. It's Allah's deen. So for you to speak about bid'ah is no different than speaking about any other issue or aspect of religion. You have to have knowledge. And you have to have the proper fiqh. You have to be properly trained. Everyone understand this? And then whenever a person becomes upset and mad and angry at a bid'ah or a person of bid'ah, that's fine. That's from the deen. That's religion. But you also have to become angry and upset at the other things which are clearly haram and against Allah and His Messenger. And if you open up your eyes, you walk down the street, you go into your house, you open up your smartphone, you go into the masjid or the airport or the bank, wherever you live, from Saudi Arabia to New York City, I'm sure in 24 hours, you'll find many things that are haram and many things that are displeasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's your job to be upset and jealous and mad at them as well. Are certain things worse than others? No question. We're not saying that every sin and every act is the same. Does bid'ah have a unique quality and characteristic? No doubt. People make sins and they know that they're sinners. People make bid'ah and they think that they're following the deen. We're not denying or rejecting that. Abadan, la. We're trying to prove a point. Is that Imam Ahmad rahimahullah ta'ala, as an example, whose name was often abused. He hated people of innovations and he also hated people of dunya and hated people of fisq. And he didn't visit the rulers. He didn't sit with the rulers. He was not friends with the rulers. He avoided lavish luxury. That's a whole complete life of what? Imam Ahmad. So my advice is to take the religion, udkhulu fi silmi kafatan. And don't follow the footsteps of shaitan, Allah says. Enter into the deen wholeheartedly. There is kufr and shirk. Ask ourselves the question, when's the last time we became upset at the kuffar? When's the last time you hated a kafir? When was the last time you spoke about a non-Muslim? When was the last time you spoke out against shirk and kufr? Ask yourselves the question. When was the last time you seen a dawah article or website or fatwa against the mushrikun? Who are mushrikun? Let alone those who are killing the Muslims, slaughtering the Muslims, raping the Muslims. Just they're people of shirk and kufr. That's from the what? That's from the deen. It's from the sunnah. Hating sinners and people of sin. That's also from the what? The deen and the sunnah. And everything else. So the religion is a whole. And the moment we take one piece of the deen, only politics, only jihad, only bid'ah, only knowledge, only spirituality and internalization of the religion, we will go astray. And the shaitan does not care what you call yourself. Nor does he care who you're with and what you look like and what's your cultural dress. إِنَّمَا يَدْعُو حِزْبَهُ لِيَكُونُ مِنْ أَصْحَابِ السَّعِيرِ. Allah says that the shaitan only calls his group and party for them to be in the fire of hell with him. That's it. So if you practice this and leave off everything else, shaitan doesn't care. I don't care what you call yourself, as long as I can get you to leave off your responsibility. So that's my advice to students of knowledge and to young brothers, young sisters, older brothers and older sisters, people involved in da'wah, is that bid'ah is a part of the religion of Islam. Learning it, avoiding it, hating it, no question. Just like everything else is a part of the religion of al-Islam. And the student of knowledge has to be well-rounded and well-balanced. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. We'll stop here as we run out of time. Wa sallallahu sallam wa barak ala abdihi wa rasulihi nabina wa imamina Muhammad.